join the 28-hour SQL Server Masterclass on the Udemy platform for only $15 instead of $89. Learn how to become a future developer or either a future DBA or performance expert on SQL Server with 150 exercises. The link to the promotion is in the video description. Okay? Want to get started on SQL Server? Then join me. Group by. Group by is the act of grouping data together. Okay? The group by command is used to group several results. Group by will always be called when you take several columns preceded by an aggregation function. Okay? So let's go for the demonstration of the group by. Use formation as always. And what does the select give? For my table contact, we still have 16 rows. Okay, Jackson and Portman Natal. I have a request. Olivier, can you count me the number of people who are male in the contact table? Have you seen before, we are going to count the number of rows in the contact table where the people are male. So far, nothing very difficult. Select count. Okay, sorry. Select count as total from contact where gender equal 1. And if I run this query, I have 10 person. Okay. Okay, they come back to me and tell me, Olivier, it's great. What you have done is very great. But on the other hand, I want people who were born in 1976. Okay. What I do, I take the same request, okay, and I'm going to count the number of rows of people who are with gender male and who were born, and here, who were born in 1976. Okay? So I do a select, I run this query as usual. So there is a little problem here. Column contact gender is invalid in the select list because it's not contained in an aggregate function or the group by clause. So what does SQL want? What you should understand is that it wants to aggregate the data. It's normal because it will return a row, one row, and we call 2 columns. So we have to group the data to return just a single row. Okay? So the grouping of this data will be done under the gender column and the date of birth column. Okay? If we don't have the group by, we cannot group the data because we call an aggregation function here, the count here. Okay? The count is obliged to group the data in order to output its query. Okay? So we take the same query as here and exactly the add this one. There were good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add the group by with gender and the date of birth that it's called here. So let's execute this query. It works perfectly. Okay, here I have 2 people who are males and who were born in 100 and 1976. Okay, by grouping the data together, it works perfectly. We can check by this query, select from my table where gender equal male, and here with 1976. Here we have the total number. Okay, we have 2 rows directly. Okay, so this is the function of group by. We group the data. When you have an aggregation function, so we count some that use several columns, we have to group the data together to output the query. Okay, I say group many times. It's to get it into your mind. You have to group the data. Okay, so come on, let's stop talking about the grouping and move on the next section.